Welcome back, guys, and yes, I am just as annoyed as you are that I do not have audio in this video right now. In the year of 2020, when we have GoPros and wireless mics and everything else, sometimes technology just don't jive. You see that black thing on my chest right there? That even has a display that says, yes, you have audio. When we plug it into the computer, alas, there is no audio. So here I am doing my introduction. I do have audio later on in the video, but in the meantime, you'll have to deal with my little voiceover here, which also might kind of suck. I don't know because I'm fighting off a little cold. So, that said, here I am just saying something super smart, influential, kind of funny, enough to pretty much make everybody on the planet be amazed at how smart I am and funny at the same time. But I don't remember anything that I said here, so we're just going to go ahead and skip ahead to where we start working. And yeah, and technology is super annoying. What we're doing today, though, is we are changing the transmission fluid and the transmission pan on this engine. If you've been following along, you'll know that we just swapped out the engine. That's what is over on the right side of your screen right there. That's the engine that came out. The newer engine is in, and through the course of that, we damaged the transmission pan, which looked pretty rough before we got started anyway. So now we're going to go ahead and replace the pan. The new pan has a drain plug on it, which will make things easier in the future, so you don't make a mess when you pull the pan down. You can pull the plug first. Also makes for quick fluid replacements, much easier, however you want to do it. Anywho, so going into, well, yeah, we replaced brakes too, if you want to see that video. I don't know why I'm pointing them out, but we replaced those calipers and all that. Check out that video. It's coming soon as well. Where were we? Transmission pan. So yeah, let's get started on that, and yeah, let's do it. So once you have your vehicle jacked up or you've squirmed under it, whatever the case might be, I like to use a hand ratchet to break all these loose, only so I can feel if they're stripping, so I know I have a problem at this point rather than waiting till later when you just break them loose with the impact. You really can't feel any of that. So now that I got them all broken loose, I'm going to grab the impact just to rip the rest of them out real fast. I'm going to leave a couple in on one side so I can kind of try and direct the flow of fluid as it pours out of the pan all over the place. I have a bad history of making a huge mess with the best of intentions here. I try to be very clean, and almost every one of these pans I pull off, I end up making a big mess because I'm clumsy like that. Alright, I got this little flexible funnel. I thought I'd be smart and protect the cat. Turns out that's a waste of time. Don't even bother. You're going to make a mess of everything anyway. But if you want to try, go for it. I tried, but... Alright, so once you get close, you're going to remove the last couple of bolts, or at least just break them a few threads loose so the pan can begin to drop. As long as you got a bolt or two in the back end, I now use a screwdriver or whatever you got to kind of pry in there and break that gasket loose and let that brown fluid flow. Yeah, that should be nice, beautiful red fluid, but this transmission fluid, I'm guessing, is original with 200 and some thousand miles on it. It looks pretty brown, but we'll see how it goes. We may end up doing a couple of changes throughout the course of history. That's alright though. As you can see here, we are making a mess, but this is not my biggest mess at all. I have had much worse. As long as you crack the pan, sometimes you get lucky. As you can see, my little flexible funnel protector here did no good whatsoever. There's quite a bit of fluid in these transmissions, and it'll take a little while to drain. You can risk it, and you can go ahead and pop the rest of the pan off, or you can just wait until it finishes doing its draining. I'm going to speed up the process a little bit and pop some more, make it a little more free, a little more, I'm going to pop it a little bit more loose, I should say, and try and drain as much fluid out of here as I can. And then here in a moment we'll go ahead and remove that last two bolts on the back side of the transmission pan and pull this pan down. So here we go. There's a one. I guess I only had one in there, but we're going to pull that pan out of the way. Once you have the pan removed, you're going to see two filters, the flat one like you normally see, and then there's also a spin on. You're also going to want to clean off all the surface mating area where you're going to put your new gasket. I used some gasket scrapers. You can see I just got it cleaned up here off camera. I'll link some gasket scrapers down below. Holding in this long filter is just one Torx bit. There is a long neck. See if you saw that real quick on the side of the screen, a long neck that goes up, and just make sure you don't break that, and it comes with the filter. The spin-on filter is just like an oil filter for your engine. Pretty self-explanatory. Mine was on there freakishly tight, and I had to use a little oil filter wrench to get it off. And there is all that transmission fluid going down onto my floor and down my armpits too. Check that out. Yeah, always a good feeling. Sitting here trying to hurry up and go fast so it doesn't reach my armpits all the way. I like to lube the gasket of the new spin-on filter just like an engine oil filter. And then I'm going to go ahead and spin that on. The other one was freakishly tight, tighter than I normally do, but because it was so tight, I went ahead and grabbed a tool, the same tool I took it off with, and tightened it up just a little bit more to get it on. Alright, so over here we got the flat one. This one is just going to pop into place. That neck pops in, and then you use that screw to hold in the backside. Have no fear, guys. The audio comes back here in just a moment, which is good. Once you get this secured in place, we're going to go ahead and get the new pan going with the new drain plug. Super exciting stuff. I really like having drain plugs on transmissions. So I legitimately have no idea if we've had audio that whole time because the mic wasn't on this side. Alright, so I am purchasing a new pan. I bought a Dorman. I will link this down below. The main reason I wanted this one is because it comes with a drain plug. So this one, you'll be able to drain your fluid without having to take your pan off. Even if you want to do a filter service, you can still drain the fluid first, which will allow you to remove the pan in a much cleaner fashion. I really like having a drain plug, so we're putting that on. Oh, and we're also going to get our gasket put in place, make sure it's the right one. Looks like it goes, how does it go? Not like that, for shams. Nor like that. Definitely not like that. Aha, here we go. This is the way, Sensei. Okay. There we go, so that'll fit just like so, but before we do that, we need to get the magnet off of the old pan and put that in here. Alright. So this is the magnet off the old pan. I have no idea how long that service, or how long the last service has been on this transmission, but there's really not much metal on this magnet, which gives me hope that either one, transmission is in fantastic shape, or two, somebody did regular maintenance and therefore transmission is in fantastic shape. I don't know which is true, but either way, let's hope transmission's in fantastic shape. Alright, so this was in pretty much the deepest part of the pan on that side, so I want to put it right here next to the drain plug, and then hopefully when we drain oil next time it'll, you know, well, probably won't, but whatever. I don't know. Moving on. Alright, these screws are all super gross, so I'm going to shoot some brake clean on them real quick and I'll be back. Alright, so now those are cleaned up a little bit. What I'm going to do is try and stick a couple of these through the hole. Ouch. Like so. And into here. All that's going to do is try and hold the gasket in place, so I'm not trying to fight it as much. Because as you can see, it's been sitting curled up in a box for a while. Apparently today was a challenging technical day, and after this clip of me getting these bolts in there to hold the gasket in place, I have no footage of actually putting the pan back in place under the vehicle. It is not a complicated ordeal. You just stick the pan up there and tighten these bolts in. I don't remember torque specs. I'll look that up on Google if you would like to. But yeah, you're just going to torque all these in place, check your drain plug, make sure that's nice and snug, and then we're good to move up to the top section right about now. Alright, so something to note is I only bought 5 quarts of this ATF4. So I did a quick measurement on the old fluid as I dumped it in my recycle bin just to see about what I was going to need. And we pulled out 5.5 quarts, so I'm gonna have to go buy another quart of ATF4. But okay, here's my thing. So, and I've done this before, I'm guilty. So a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people tell you to measure out your old ATF
and put in the exact same amount that you pulled out so that you know you're right, you know you're accurate. The only way that works is if the accurate amount of fluid was in there in the first place. Also, your fluid has to be the same temperature. ATF, to my understanding, expands when it gets heated. So if you're changing this hot, your new ATF measurement is going to be different than your old ATF measurement. Just something to keep in mind. So I measured out 5.5. This thing has 200,000 miles on it of unknown maintenance. I have no idea if it was accurate when it went in. So what are we going to do? I'm going to dump in the 5 quarts that I have, and then I'm going to run it, get it warm, and then I'm going to check the dipstick, and that is going to be the final destination, or the final call as to whether we're accurate or not. So I know not everything has a dipstick, but these does. I know not everything has a dipstick, but these Jeeps do, so utilize it, okay? That's all I'm saying. So anywho, I'm going to go ahead and dump these 5 quarts in and moving on. I'm gonna pull the dipstick. Whoop. Put that where it'll get dirty. Grab the cleanest funnel I can find, which, yes, I know that's not very clean, but it's clean enough. Pop that open and start filling her up. Gonna have to go somewhat slow just because of the steep angle. Here we go, that'll help. No point in me holding it if I can prop it up, like so. Nice. Gotta get a good shot for you guys. A nice red fluid going in. Yes, I will link these down below as well. It won't be the O'Reilly brand, but it'll be ATF4 of some sort. You can take a look in there too and see if there's additive package below. Some companies will have additives down below. So if you're stressed out about that and want to know that you have all of it in there, what you can do, just drain this a little bit. Put your cap back on and give it a good shake. This one's been opened. This isn't even a full 5 quarts, but it's close. So I need to add about 3/4 of a quart after this probably, is my guess. So now at this point, folks, all I'm gonna do is pick up my funnel, stick my dipstick back in. I'm not gonna take this for a ride right now because the brakes don't really work. But what you gotta do is take this for a drive around the neighborhood, get it nice and little, well, not nice and roasty, but get it warmed up. Put it in park, let it idle, pull the dipstick, verify your fluid is in the right spot. Every time I do one of these videos, I get a lot of questions on how to read a dipstick, man. So just make sure it's between the dots. There we go. So, see if you guys see this. So if you'll see those upper 2 dots is hot. It's upside down, but it says hot. So if you're in that range, you're good. These lower 2 dots say cold. If you're in that range, you're good. But you still have to get it to run, cycle through a couple gears before you can check it cold or hot, because you want to make sure that your filter's full, your transfer case is full, not your transfer case, your torque converter's full, and just that the fluid has had a chance to move, and then check it. If you're good, you're good. If you're not, adjust accordingly. And that's really all there is to it. So if you guys want to see more of my videos, make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, check out the playlist. There's a whole bunch of videos on the Jeep playlist and about to be a crap ton more. This Jeep is about ready to hit the road, and once it is, I've got another Jeep I need to work on and get that running. So once I can get the title in my name anyway, that's a different situation. But yeah, so stay tuned, subscribe, hit the alert button. Thanks for watching, thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next time.